British and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello.
How's it going?
Doing pretty well. Colder today than I would like. It was warm yesterday, and I was like, hooray, spring is here. But then today, it was like 10 degrees above freezing, and there was a lot of wind, and I went outside without a coat on, and I was miserable. It was great.
Okay. What a roller coaster.
Yes, it certainly was. All the way up and then
Yeah.
down again.
Yep.
Yeah. Blech. Gross. And
It's getting cooler here, too. Yep.
I know. Maybe you sent some of your getting cooler weather our way. That is sneaky, like Australians are.
Oh, yeah, very sneaky. Yeah.
You just put it all of your cold weather in a big balloon and send it up our way. I know how this works. I've seen documentaries.
All of our cold weather would fit in a big balloon.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's why
Yeah.
you don't have it, because you send it other places in a balloon.
I mean, we've still got some. It gets cold enough. I've got a blanket right now.
Fair, I guess. I don't know. I'm always skeptical of people who live in super hot places that saying they're cold, because it's like, really? Was it? Was it cold? Thor face.
I mean, it's not that cold,
Okay.
right? I just want my feet to be warm, right?
That's understandable. I get it. I wear socks like all day in the winter, every day. No barefoot. And then in the summer, it's no socks, no shoes for months. It's great.
You just walk around barefoot? Disgusting.
I have these sandals. Have I not told you this?
Maybe.
I think I went like 3 months last summer without wearing socks or shoes. A pair of sandals. Every day I wore shorts and a t-shirt and those sandals. And that was it, man. It was fantastic. My feet were so happy.
I'm glad for your feet.
I washed them every day. It was fine.
What,
Nobody
your feet or the
complained.
sandals?
Not the sandals every day. But
So the sandals that you walked into public restrooms with, you didn't wash once?
I said not every day. Probably once a week I would.
Okay.
It's like shoes. How often do you wash the bottom of your shoes?
Every day.
No, you don't.
I wash them out at work because they fill up with stuff like flour and seeds and all that stuff that fall on the floor, and then water spilling on the ground as well. It turns into like a kind of gunk,
Okay.
and that stuff just fills up in the grooves. So you got to get the hose and like blast that stuff out of there.
Yes. All right, fine. So if you work a job where your shoes get filthy every day, yeah, you wash your shoes every day. But 99.9% of the rest of humanity does not wash their shoes every day.
Well, they should.
Maybe they should. We'll start a campaign. Now that this coronavirus stuff is over, new campaign, wash your shoes every day. People
Wash
would be
hands, wash
super
your
on
shoes.
board. Yeah, exactly. Hands, shoes. We can expand this as needed, but I think for now that's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, but the coldest part of my day was I went out to fill up my car for like the first time in a month because I'm not driving anywhere.
Right.
And yeah, they're like, you're not supposed to re-enter your car while it's filling up because you might create a spark and explode the whole gas station. So I'm standing out there in short sleeves, just like, ugh. There was no windbreak, and the wind was just like crushing me. Like it tricked me because I looked outside and it was sunny, and I was like, ooh, nice, another nice day. 2 nice days in a row, wonderful. Thanks, April. And then
Nope.
I was driving and I looked at my thermometer thing, like I have an interior reader of how what the temperature is outside. And it was like 15 degrees above freezing, 13 degrees above freezing. And I was like, wait, what? I was tricked. And by the time I got to the gas station, it was 7 degrees above freezing. And I was like, okay, all right. I was
pretty cold.
thoroughly fooled. It was cold. And there was the wind. Anyway, this is enough whining. It was stupid. At least I'm heading into warmer days. You don't have any of that to look forward to.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
It is for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah. So is hot cross bun season over? Easter happened. I thought when Easter happens, it's over.
Yeah, we've probably got like another week of it.
What? You have post-Easter hot cross buns?
We have pre-Easter hot cross buns. Why is post so much different?
It's totally different. Nobody buys Halloween candy after Halloween. It's the same thing, isn't it?
No.
Oh. Is it
Like,
more of a
one-
Passover thing?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, Passover is like multiple days that are celebrating like the resurrection of Christ.
Right. Well, okay. So Passover, as in Easter, is a 4-day thing.
Yeah, right. So like, whereas here, I mean, for the Christians, it's like it's Easter and then it's over. But for people who celebrate Passover, it's like several days of Passover, and maybe it's not over yet. I don't know.
No.
It's not that. Okay, got it.
No.
I'm making guesses here.
Yeah. No.
I can
Well,
tell.
because hit one back to like the Halloween thing. Halloween candy isn't really a big thing here. Like people might buy buckets of just like single serve Mars bars, like the little snack size ones, party size ones or whatever, and you get like 12 in a bag, and give those out. Halloween stops people keep buying Mars bars, right?
Yeah.
They sell those all years round.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So,
It.
but I don't know what it is, dude. We make hot cross buns 4 months before Easter, right? For 4 months. Why would we stop just because Easter's done?
I don't know, man. I don't know how any of this works. We don't do hot cross buns here.
Good. I'm moving tomorrow.
That sounds delightful, says Omicron.
Yeah. I have no idea.
So how long after Easter does it seem to last most of the time?
1 to 2 weeks. Depends on when Easter was, right? If it's at the middle or end of April, usually it'll just go to the end of April. If it's like this year where it was kind of the first 10 days or whatever, it'll go for about another week, I think, and then stop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we'll stop talking about that for sure. So speaking of Easter, it was Easter here yesterday as a podcast recording, so you can figure that out if you're an American. My oldest boys were like, "Dad, be sure to hide our Easter eggs really well. We want it to be a challenge." And I was like, "Challenge accepted." And my daughter was like, "I'm fine. You can just put them out." And I was like, "Deal." So that was nice. So hers were like on the couch in front of the television.
Okay.
And
And
theirs
where were the
were,
boys?
they couldn't find all of theirs. I was so proud. I did a great job.
You missed the key opportunity to put hers out and then to not put theirs out and be like, no, they're hidden. Go look.
I know, but it's functionally the same thing because they found like 3 and then they just gave up. It was hilarious.
Right. But yeah, fair enough. How big are these 3 though? That's the important thing.
Oh,
I'm
the
picturing
oldest is
small ones.
11, and then the middle child is 9, and then my baby is 7 now, which is nuts.
Right, but that's not what I was asking.
Oh.
The size of the Easter egg.
Oh, like
The 3
egg
that
size.
they found. Yeah.
Yeah, like an egg. Not a jumbo egg, I guess, but an egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I was very proud of one. We didn't do it outside; we just did it inside. Because again, it was
Fair.
kind of cold in the morning. They woke up at like 6. Anyway, it was basically
You went to
Christmas.
bed at like 5.
Yeah. One of them I was really proud of. My boy had left his hoodie draped over one of the kitchen chairs, and I put an egg in the pocket of his hoodie. They didn't find that
Nice.
one. It was great.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. I was watching Pig stream on Twitch the other day.
Yeah.
He and his partner Dot had hidden Easter eggs for each other in their like apartment or wherever it is they
Oh,
live.
that's fun. Yeah.
And then Pig time lapsed themselves looking for it, like taking turns to search. So there's a video of that exists. Maybe an idea for next Easter.
Did it take a while? They're time lapsing, so I assume so.
I don't know.
I mean, if it was like 30 seconds, they found them all. You don't need time lapse, right? And I don't think so.
Right.
Okay.
Is that how quickly your kids gave up?
No,
30 seconds?
no, not at all.
Right.
It's
So
a good.
time lapse might be appropriate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, makes sense.
Also depends on how many cameras and rooms you're hiding. Are you hiding them in like the entire house?
No, we made rules. I just kept it to like the main living area. We have a kind of like an open kitchen, dining room, television area with no walls. So it was just all in there. Made it easier.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I had really worked hard at hiding them in the house, I would have forgotten where I put a lot of them. For one.
12 months later, you're hiding more eggs, and you're there was eggs still in here. As you like remove a wall socket or something to put in.
That is a diabolical place to hide an egg. Can you hide an egg in there? Bet you could.
Probably.
Remove the wall plate and like take the anyway. My mom was like, "Hey, do you want to come over and do an Easter egg hunt?" And I was like, "Well, we're doing social distancing. Not a great idea." She's like, "Well, we'll just hide them in the backyard, and then we'll just sit on the back patio and watch the kids get them, and then we'll stay 6 feet away." And I was like, "All right, fine." So we did that. I think it was okay. Everyone obeyed the social distancing rules. I mean, I suppose the coronavirus could have transferred from the eggs, or from my parents to the eggs to the kids. But
Or in reverse, right?
No, because we weren't
Right,
giving
because
them
the
anything.
kids Right, but if the kids are running around the backyard and then they go out into the backyard later, right, that stuff apparently hangs around for a little bit.
It's a good point. I don't know that my parents spent a lot of time hanging out in the backyard, though. Who knows?
They don't do any, like, gardening or anything?
Not yet. It's not that warm.
Okay.
I think it was okay. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
It's good to see my brother. My brother's back. Did we talk about this?
Yeah,
Argentina?
Yeah, he went to, Argentina.
Yeah.
So,
He's back, and he was like, "Hey, I heard you have some thoughts about the latest Star Wars movie." And I was like, "Oh, you reminded me of The Rise of Skywalker. Why would you do that? I've been in such a good mood." Because I was like, "Yeah, what did I just... Oh, crap. All these memories are coming back. All the stuff that I hated." So it's his fault. I'm mad about Star Wars again.
mad about Star Wars again.
Poor Daisy Ridley. I saw this today. Like, somebody was
Yeah.
interviewing her and just asked her about it, and she's like, "Yeah, it seems like the Twitter response to the movie was really negative, and it kind of hurts." And I'm like, "Look, nobody's hating on you. I think everyone acted really well. I don't have any problem with any of the actors in Rise of Skywalker. I think everybody did as well as they could. I think the writing was poor, and I think the storytelling was poor, and that has nothing to do with anybody who was acting in the film. I don't have any ill will towards anybody involved. Oscar Isaac is still awesome. Daisy Ridley's cool. Like, I don't have any problems whatsoever."
I'll be sure to let her know that you don't have any problems. All right.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't feel like I have a minority opinion. Are there people who are like, "Man, Oscar Isaac was garbage in that movie. It's his fault I didn't like it"? I haven't heard that opinion at all.
Well, I haven't heard that exact opinion, but I bet there are people who A, don't like it, and B, think Daisy Ridley's performance was kind of flat. I can guarantee you someone out there thinks that.
Interesting. Okay.
Right?
I mean, part of it...
If there are people that like the movie, right, and you dislike the movie, I'm sure there are other people who, unlike you, don't like the acting or the performances.
Yeah. No, right. I'm sorry. I'm not meaning to imply nobody or that everybody liked the acting. That's not what I'm saying. But I just think if there was a giant outcry on Twitter, I'd imagine the majority of it wasn't the acting was garbage. I imagine there are bigger things to complain about for most people, but who knows?
Right,
Maybe
right.
a lot of people
But
were
go-
mad at the acting.
Go back to The Last Jedi. Everyone threw tons of messages at Kelly Marie Tran
Yes, that's
for
true.
her portrayal of Rose, which entirely not her fault.
Yeah, entirely unfair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I hope she wasn't referring to people directly, like, tagging her in tweets and being like, "You should die." Like, I hope that wasn't happening. I don't know.
That would be unfortunate.
It'd be unfortunate.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of reminds me, when you say people claim she had a flat performance in Rise of Skywalker, like that scene where she's trying to force pull that transport back down to the planet when Chewie's on it, or we think Chewie's on it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's pretty intense. I think she did a really good job there. And then when she thinks she killed him, it's awesome. And then they immediately revert all of that in 45 seconds because they're all cowards and can't actually do anything risky. All right, I'm getting mad again. We're not talking about this. But the point is that I thought she was fine. I thought she was great. There's a lot of stuff that I have quibbles about, but never once where I was like, "Man, these people don't know how to act." That's all. Okay, I'm done with Star Wars. Done, I say.
Yep.
It's not my brother's
Done.
fault.
Moving on.
Why would he ask about that?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's talk about GSL. GSL's way more fun.
It is more fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't confirm. Yep.
So this is the 10-year anniversary of GSL.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. So before one of the broadcasts for the group stages, Group A anyway, they had a bunch of interviews and just, a couple of lines from all the players involved and the casters, and Artosis and Tasteless had things to say. And It was cool. It was just kind of cool to see how long StarCraft has endured and how it's continuing to be awesome. And Artosis was like, a lot of people were telling me, this is going to fizzle out after about 2 or 3 years, and moving to Korea is a stupid idea. And he's like, they were wrong. Like, we're still going strong here. We're still thriving. And he said maybe there will be a time where the game collapses, but I expect to be dead by then. And I was like, boy, like of old age, right? What are we talking about here exactly?
You thought he was applying the game will die when he does?
Yeah,
Right. Like he gets hit by a car. That's it. StarCraft's over. Cancel it.
A little
Shut
part
it
of me
down.
was like, that was worded strangely.
Poorly.
I get where you're coming from. Dying, you'll be an old man. You'll be long gone, 50, 60 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope he's right.
Yeah.
It was great.
Me too.
Yeah, and then a bunch of games were fantastic. They had what they considered a legendary StarCraft 2 game in that group stage. Should we talk about it? We're going to spoil it for
Yes.
people. I mean, by the time they hear this, it'll be like 2.5 weeks old, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I think we're good. Yeah, so SOS basically digs deep into the well of his Florencio Sewer Mermaid strats against Bunny, Terran player, Korean Terran. Proxies a Nexus inside, just in full view of God and everyone. Here's a Nexus. And I'm like, oh, he's doing the Zealot recall thing with the probes.
And then he makes exactly 2 adepts.
Yeah, 2 adepts.
No zealots.
And I'm like, what? This is not worth the investment at all. What are you doing? Yeah, so the adepts are annoying, but they don't really destroy Bunny's economy or anything. That's it. And then during all the chaos of all the adepts are running around, he makes a single probe out of that Nexus. Builds it in the Nexus, like doesn't recall it. He builds it with the Nexus and hides it in this corner to the far right of Bunny's base that's in the Fog of War.
Yep. Puts up a little cheeky pylon.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, there's 2 stages to this. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
The second stage is Dark Templars.
Yeah, and then he uses that to slow warp in Dark Templars. I think he had a gateway over there, didn't he?
No. It was slow warp-ins first.
It was the first
He may have
round.
added a gateway after.
Okay, yeah.
But the first ones were definitely slow.
Yeah, so he slow warps in some DTs inside Bunny's main. And Bunny, like the good Terran that he is using his energy to call down mules and is not saving it for DTs because why on earth would you do that? And
Exactly.
he's able to kill one of the DTs, but then it doesn't have enough for the remainder, and more keeps showing up and taps out. It was amazing.
It was really something to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Tastosis were losing their minds for good reason.
For good reason, yeah.
Yeah.
A little disappointing to see SOS not make it out of the bracket.
Yeah, that's really the problem. It's like it kind of makes it lose its luster a little bit that this game came from a group stage where he didn't make it out. It's like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Unfortunate, but sometimes that's the way it goes.
It is. So what was this? Season 1, round of 24, Group A, right? Yeah.
Yes. Sue Bunny, SOS, and True.
So I'm trying to pull this up here. Yeah, there we go. So Sue and Bunny make it out of here. Man, the era of Terran. Look at that. Bunny makes it in over SOS. Absolutely insane.
And same.
Yeah, so Morrow's looking good. Bunny's looking good. Innovation's looking good. This should impact our
Innovation's
betting
playing
in the
a lot.
future.
It should.
What about Innovation?
Oh, he's playing a lot of League of Legends still.
True. Was that you who pointed out he said something like that during his interview and they like cut it?
No. I think that was Copenhagen Dust.
Yeah.
Basically, they were asking all the players how they're dealing with the quarantine, and he just said, it's giving me a lot of time to play a League of, and then it was like bleeped, and just this subtitle said redacted. They bleeped League of Legends. Which,
Made
fair.
me laugh. It was, yeah, fair. It's great. So Group B, it's going to be played on the 15th, which is in the past for anyone listening to this. But it's going to be Rogue, Top, Scarlet, and Innovation, which, holy crap, that group. Like Group A was good, and then True got tossed in, and I was like, I don't believe in True, and then he went 0-4, so I was correct to do so, to not believe in him. But Group B doesn't really have a week unless Scarlet just kind of does 2020 Scarlet, where she doesn't look that great.
Right. I'm predicting Rogue and Inno easily. I don't think this is a very scary group.
Looking at it more closely, I don't know. Yeah.
It's like I don't know much about Top, right? I'm
Right.
not expecting a lot from him. Scarlet, could certainly can't go toe to toe with any of these other players. But whether or not she does is a bigger mystery to anyone else.
Right.
Right.
To everybody. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the safer bets are just Rogue and Inno.
So let's decide which group is the scariest one. Which is the group of death? We've got Group C, which is Zest on Rigu impacting Cure, so probably not. I think that's a Zest Cure group for sure.
I think the group of death will appear in the group stage 2, round of 16.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So what's the most
I had
difficult group, though, of Group Stage 1? What do you think?
I don't know. They've all got like
They all have kind of...
at least 2, right?
Yeah, they all have at least 2. They're the favorites to make it through.
Right. At least 2 or 1, right? Or none, right? Maybe Group F, right? Just because it's special and stats out of everyone that's left.
Yeah. Special stats,
Yeah.
Hurricane, Tasia. I'd love to see Tasia reach his heights from where he was, but it doesn't seem like that's happening right now. And Hurricane's good, but not stats good.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it's the same with like Group E. It's TY, Bomber, Armani, and Deer.
Yeah.
TY and Deer should come out pretty easily. Bomber and Armani, I'd like to see them do good, but I think the other 2 are much more reliable picks.
Yeah.
Group D, Parting, Dream Creator, and Ragnarok. Creator, maybe. I can't really pick anyone out of that. I don't think any of those players are particularly amazing.
No,
but
I
it's
agree.
lucky they all got the group with themselves, so that's good for them.
Fair.
Group C is Zest and Cure, Dongrigo and Impact. I mean, DRG. That's cool. Good to see him still here. But
as we said last week, I don't think anyone's come back from their military service and been as awesome as they were beforehand.
yeah.
Like none of these legends, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody has gone to the military and come back and been as good as they were, but they're like nobody we know, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'd love for Maru to be that first person. I really would.
Maru hasn't even gone for military service yet.
Not Maru. Who am I thinking? Bjorn.
Bjorn.
Bjorn's back. Right.
Right.
All those Terran players look the same.
All those Korean Terran players look the same.
Yeah, especially those ones. I don't know. Hero Marine kind of looks like Bunny. Yar.
Hero Marine looks like Bunny?
No. Jokes.
Oh. For a minute there, I thought you were serious. I'm like, really? That's quite the curious little piece of trivia.
Nobody really knows. It's something I see, but yeah. So anyway, these are streamed on YouTube in English, which is cool. Unless you're into all of your super hot emojis you had back over on Twitch and your super cool elite chat rooms you could set up.
And you're Twitch clipping.
And Twitch clipping. Okay, there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The emotes is totally like a sunk cost fallacy thing where it's like, I don't want to leave because I've put all this money into getting these emotes. But at the same time, they're literally not offered on YouTube, so it is a step down.
Yes, it's true. They should make a whole ton of custom emotes for their channel. They can do that.
Right. But I don't like if they're streaming on like Twitch and not on YouTube, I'm not going to subscribe to them on YouTube like for money. Just to have them there. Right? I go where the content is, and the majority of StarCraft live content is on Twitch.
It's true. It does make me wonder why they went to YouTube. Do we know?
YouTube paid Blizzard a bunch of money to have all their games on YouTube.
Oh. Are they doing
Or
Overwatch
Blizzard-
on YouTube now too?
Yep, I believe so.
I was unaware.
Sports. Let's have a look. I swear I remember seeing an article about this.
Okay, I had never heard about this. This is good to know.
YouTube reportedly pays $160 million for Activision Blizzard esports exclusivity.
Dang.
Yep.
All right, that's cool. Google's got that money. They can do that.
They can do that.
Yeah, so they're trying to compete with Twitch. They're trying to, they're not
They're
trying to make sure that
They're
Twitch
buying
doesn't
views.
run away with being the gaming streaming site of the world, right?
right. Yeah.
Yeah. It seemed like the viewership was pretty good for the GSL group stages.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's, I don't know. You've watched both. Did you pay attention to that at all? The numbers that YouTube was getting compared to a similar event on Twitch?
No, I wasn't looking at viewer numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying that close attention to it either, but maybe we should on the 15th. Maybe we'll check it out. Like, do you know what a group, a group A, group stage number 1 for GSL would normally get on Twitch? Do you know what numbers?
From memory, anywhere between 7 and 10K.
Okay, cool. We'll see what YouTube gets here for group stage 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be shocked if it's as much as that.
Yeah.
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 Because as everybody knows, or at least as I seem to see, it's really hard to get people to go from YouTube to Twitch or vice versa. Twitch people are Twitch people,
Right,
YouTube are YouTube people. Yeah.
It's interesting. I was just wondering if they're forcing all the language streams over to YouTube as well, but they're not. Apparently, all the other language streams are on Africa.
Yeah, that's what the Wikipedia page for this GSL has. All these different Africa links for different languages: English, Korean, Spanish, Taiwan, Russian, Japanese. They have an English. Wait, what? They have a link for
English
Africa TV
Africa.
English.
Yep. So if people who are English want to watch it on Africa, can.
Oh, that kind of English.
You mean our English? Yeah.
Well, it's the same. It's like the same UK American flag as it is for YouTube.
Yeah, because it's English.
Oh.
As in,
So they are streaming on Africa and they are streaming on YouTube.
yes, I assume it's the same stream that goes to YouTube. It's just on Africa.
Now I want to know how many people are watching on Africa versus YouTube.
I imagine a couple hundred, maybe.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yep.
For comparison, when I'm streaming with Laughing Games out there for our Africa World events, we will have 350 people watching and will be by far the most watched thing Africa at that time. So, yeah. Let's just say Africa is not quite Twitch YouTube levels yet. They're trying.
No, they're trying. They're getting there.
They're working on it. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they have GSL is huge. Absolutely
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Best esport. Sorry, Dota.
No, I'm not sorry to Dota.
Not sorry, Dota. No.
No.
Indeed. Did you watch Tiger King?
I've seen 3 episodes.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't. Which is about the same as what last time we had this conversation.
Fair.
I keep wanting to go back to it, but work's been busy. Final Fantasy came out. Aki set up a Minecraft server, so I've been busy.
Dang it, Aki. Ruining Somicron's free time with your excellent Minecraft server construction.
I mean, it's fun. Minecraft is fun. You should come play. Come on, don't be an old man. Come play Minecraft.
Such an old man. I'm so old. Minecraft is for kids.
Come on. My dad plays Minecraft. I think you can manage it.
I mean, I'm assuming he's much older than I am, so that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been watching Ozark.
Uh-huh.
Finished Ozark. I think we talked about that. Been watching Narcos.
Mm-hmm. We've talked a lot about that.
Yep. Which has been good. It's interesting to me that they were like, all right, so we got this Narcos show about taking down Pablo Escobar. It was a huge ratings hit. And they're like, but the story's over. We can't keep going. And they're like, well, what about what happened in Colombia after Escobar was killed? And I'm like, well, fine. I guess we could keep doing the story. That's really what it feels like to me. I don't think they planned on doing the post-Escobar cocaine trade in Narcos. But then it was such a huge hit, and millions of people watched it that they were like, ah.
They didn't want to give up the show.
No. They're like, hey, there's more Narcos. And I was like, is Pablo Escobar in it? No, he's not. He was largely why it was so good. Shut up. Watch this Narcos. It's just as good, we promise.
Is it just as good?
It's pretty good. I mean, a lot of what made Narcos great was the great production quality, the acting, the writing. It's all very good. And a big part of it was Pablo. And the fact that he's gone is an issue. But I don't know. I mean, what's kind of interesting about it is Pablo was the big public figure for cocaine trade. He was like publicly buying soccer teams and holding rallies, and he was the guy, right?
Right.
But
He was the face of it.
the other really big cartel in Colombia had no interest in being known as cocaine dealers.
Oh, okay.
They put a ton of effort into being legitimate businessmen who owned laundromats and, like, you know, just corner store convenience grocery things and stuff like that, and just being seen as good dudes who just built their wealth legitimately.
Right.
Yeah. So they're trying to do that, but once Pablo's gone, the American government's like, we know what they're doing. Like, they can't hide it that well. Like, you can't be rolling in as much money as they have just running laundromats, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So it's
It's like it's the guy that owns the taxi service with 2 taxis and pulls in like $70K a year.
yeah, it's kind of like that. It's very suspicious, it turns out.
Yeah.
It's an open secret, all right? Everybody knows that these two brothers are running cocaine, doing as much business as Pablo was doing, just quieter. So once Pablo's gone, the government's like, all right, got to take these guys down. And it's apparently it's harder to do when you're not being as ostentatious and open about it. So it's interesting in a different way. It's still got Pedro Pascal, who's fantastic.
Also known from his work in The Mandalorian. Yep.
Mandalorian, when he wears a mask the whole time and speaks with a flat American accent, yes.
Yeah. It's his best role.
Still upset about that.
I know, that's why I bring it up.
I know. I can tell. I can feel the intent in your question. Or your statement. Yeah. He's great. Anyway. Yeah. So other than that, it's really just been hanging out with the kids, trying to make them do their homework every day, which it's not really homework, I guess. It's homeschooling work.
Huge difference.
Well, it's just more, right? Homework was like,
Right.
you know, this math sheet to do. And homeschool work is like, here's a list of 7 things to get through today. And it's like, trying to work from home and teach my kids at the same time. I mean, luckily they're smart kids and they don't need that much help. But
enough.
it is fairly interrupting for them to be like, I don't understand this question. Like, I don't begrudge them. I try to, put on a happy face and help them.
It's their fault they don't understand the work.
What?
That's exactly it.
What is happening? Yeah. So
I should absolutely begrudge them for it.
I'm available. I let them know if you have a question, let me know immediately. It interrupts the work and it slows things down a little bit, but I don't know. It's the norm.
Yeah, new norm.
I tell you about the dude on my team. We have little conference
Who's
calls.
like conference calling from his kitchen, and all
Yes.
these kids are like, yeah, you mentioned it on stream.
Today again. He's like in his kitchen and his kids are just having a loud conversation right next to him. And it's like, look, you idiots. If your dad is clearly talking on a work call, shut up. Like, he can keep you muted if he's not saying anything. That's fine. You can hold your conversation for most of this meeting. But when it's his turn to say something, shut up for 34 seconds. And they couldn't be bothered to. And I was just like, do you not respect your father? Who are these kids? I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah, I would feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, why isn't the guy doing anything about it? Kick him out of the room or something.
He doesn't have any confidence. I don't know.
Who knows?
Just
Give him the chair is what I said.
Yes. Those kids deserve nothing less.
It's true.
Blah. Blah, blah, blah. I tell you, I played some Protoss the other day.
You did what?
Yeah.
Why?
So I hopped on to StarCraft to do some casting. And one of my coworkers has a kid who likes my videos, and he sent me a friend request like 6 months ago, and I was like, fine.
Okay.
And then I hop onto StarCraft, and he invites me to a party, and I'm like, oh, look who's brave today.
Okay.
Because he's never whispered me. He's never invited me to anything. Like, we've just been on friends list, right?
Right.
So he invites me to a party, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, do you want to play some team games with me and my buddy? And I'm like, sure, I have some time.
Okay.
So my coworker texted me and was like, you have no idea how excited my son is to play StarCraft with you. I was like, all right, it's cool. So we're doing threes, and it's a new team, so there's no MMR, right? I
Right.
was like,
Right.
I'm going to be Protoss. I don't care about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I went Protoss, and it was kind of awesome.
Oh.
The first game, I just went Charge Lot Archon
Uh-huh.
with all the upgrades. And it was so
Right.
nice not having to choose between making drones and making stuff. I was just like, make drones. Just make probes the whole time. It's great. Making probes the whole time, and then when the warp cycle comes along, make a bunch of zealots and make some High Templar and put them together into Archons and just go. It was nice. It was relaxing. And the next game, I was like, I'm rushing carriers. And I did. And the other team actually rushed some roaches. And I was like, But I just, got my probes out of there, and the carriers killed everything. And I made a single void ray to help with that. And then I just made 15 carriers, and they moved. And we won. It was great.
That's all it takes.
I was like, what do Protoss players do that I hate? I'm doing all of those things.
Okay, so in team games with Fatty, I've been constantly berating him how much carriers suck.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because carriers suck.
Well-
and we decided they do suck.
They suck if... Well, anyway, go ahead.
Like, carriers suck, right. But we decided our last game was going to be a mono battle, and I went, it's blind random, right?
Yeah.
For the picking for the unit that you get, and I went random, and I got Tempest.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I should re-roll this, try and get something better. I got carriers.
Were they awesome and unstoppable? Did you win with them?
No.
Oh.
There was a point where I had like 20 carriers out, and I had 5,000 like resources in army above everyone else.
Yeah.
Carriers suck. They all died.
What killed
Right,
them?
Hydra Viking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, we had constantly we're getting like Roach Nidus back on our side of the map, so I had to like start splitting them up, and that's where they got weak. But carriers are the worst.
Admittedly, it is a problem if Vikings are controlled correctly versus carriers, yes.
Yeah. And our tank guy left because, of course.
Because he would have been awesome against the roaches and the hydras, that guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
He's like,
Yeah.
you know what? My unit is way too useful. I'm out. I only play if I have a garbage unit.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
I think
it's a good game though. I think
Was it a longer one?
it was like almost 30 minutes.
Jeez, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good old
There was a
Mono
point where I
Battles.
was like, we have a chance. They don't have like I think I'd reset the Viking count and we were like fighting to keep like the last 5 carriers alive because we had so our team was Phoenix, Liberator, Carrier, Tank.
Okay.
Tank guy leaves, that leaves carriers to destroy enemy buildings.
Right. No pressure.
And we ended up with one base with like 12 liberators parking the liberation on top of it with cannons and a planetary fortress next to it. And we were just like, all right, we just need to slowly move out and kill their bases and then come back and like heal up and repair and wait. And then they just had the entire map and we couldn't beat them. But it was close because it was like this really strong defensive position, and every now and then the enemy like Reaper player would show up with like 60 Reapers and they would all die to Liberators. It was hilarious.
That is funny. Reaper guy's like, can't shoot up. This is bullcrap.
Yeah, I was trying to flood them with my numbers,
Yeah.
but it wasn't working.
No. Oh, the Viking, though, that reminds me. So there's this group of dudes that send me replays to cast every once in a while, and they pay me for it. It's just like a bunch of guys who work together. It's kind of cool, actually. They just, play team games and have fun, and they want me to cast them, so I do. So there's this one guy who's fairly new to the game. Like, maybe he started 6 months ago.
Okay.
And it's been fun to watch his progression. Like, he's playing Terran, and at first he just had no idea how to make an army, and now he's pretty good with Marine Tank, and it's nice to see. So there's a 2v2 that I cast where it was him and another Terran player versus a Protoss and a Zerg.
Okay.
And so it's pretty back and forth. I mean, nobody here is a pro. Nobody's probably even Diamond, honestly, but it's back and forth. Everyone's murdering everything. And suddenly nobody has an army, but this dude has like 160 supply. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's just been quietly massing Vikings down in the corner of his base. I haven't even been noticing. But he's got 2 starports reactored, and he's just been making Vikings for the last, 5 minutes. He's not been using them. He hasn't been flying around killing stuff. He just has,
He just has them.
30 Vikings just sitting there, hovering in the corner. And then he moves out, and he wins the game just by landing them and killing everybody's buildings.
Vikings very good against armored targets.
Yeah, turns out. Not bad.
No. Oh, is it armored?
It's
or
mechanical.
Mechanical.
It was really good
Right.
against the remaining stalkers, but I mean, it does enough damage to where they will kill buildings if you give them enough time.
Yeah, especially in those kind of numbers.
He just wipes out every overlord on the map, and the other team has no ability to respond to this at all at this point in the game because everyone's economy's in the toilet.
I'll send 6 queens after your 12 Vikings.
Yeah.
Not even 12, more than 12, probably.
Yeah. It was honestly probably 30 Vikings.
Oh,
And it was hilarious because I'm like, man, no one has any income. The armies are low. And I checked and I'm like, wait a second. Why does this guy have all this stuff? I was so proud. He totally won the game for his team there. It was fantastic.
That's, what's the word? Wholesome.
Wholesome. And then in the
Yeah.
next game, he makes Vikings again. But an enemy Protoss went carriers, but he didn't micro against the carriers at all. And so they all
they were
just
targeting
died.
interceptors.
Yeah. They're
That's
targeting interceptors. They got wiped out real fast. Good times.
Good times.
I was like, generally making a giant Viking ball does not make much sense. Maybe don't do this. You won the game this time, yes. But don't let this... Maybe don't let this encourage you to do it every time. Just a recommendation. Vikings aren't that good.
No.
Blah. So anyway, what I'm saying is when we get back to playing StarCraft, I'm going to go Protoss. It'll be great.
Okay. You're just going to switch?
Yeah, for a little bit. See how it goes.
Ugh. Gross.
You're like, I know what it's like to play play with a Protoss on my team. It sucks. They always try to go carriers and we lose.
It's true. Every time we've lost, it's not because I can't macro or micro or create the appropriate unit compositions. It's because Fatty goes carriers. That's exactly it.
That's exactly it.
It's not my lack of scouting, map awareness, or any sort of control.
Nope.
It's carriers. Carriers were the problem.
It's the Protoss' fault every time. They're overpowered. If a team loses,
true.
it's because the Protoss sucks.
Exactly. Take it back to Minecraft, Aki. I logged onto the server today, and I was like, these look familiar. There was something called mana pylons that look identical to StarCraft pylons in one of the mod packs that he had installed.
Whoa. So they're just pylons sitting out there?
They have a purpose. They provide an area of magic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
makes sense.
They do stuff. He's the one. Aki's the one working on all the magic technology. I was just out there digging a hole.
Sounds about right. Holding
Yeah.
digging's important. So, but back to you and Fatty.
Yeah.
So you sent me a couple of games to cast a while ago, and I was like, okay, and then I didn't cast them because I'm awesome.
Yep.
So I cast them, and
Oh, yeah.
cast them.
What'd you think?
They're uploaded. They're scheduled to post. That second game was nuts.
Yeah, was it?
I'm not sure what to spoil here, but Spoiler
Well, I mean,
alert: the moment where the enemy Zerg stole a probe and made his own
Probe?
Nexus was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought when I was playing the game, I was like, man, this is a really close back and forth game, it feels like. And then once I realized that they had almost a mothership gotten out, I was like, this game wasn't close at all.
It's
was like,
crazy.
I'm like, I'm being styled on hard.
Well, my favorite part is you gave up on anything but lings and banelings about 20 minutes into it. At first,
Yeah.
you're making roaches and mutalisks and hydras and all this great stuff, and then you're like, screw it, lings and banelings, go.
Yeah, like the 50 Baneling warp in. Yeah.
Yes!
Warp.
You're just like, I'm just A-moving 50 banelings across the map. You can't stop me. And in fairness, they couldn't because they had mostly
Yeah.
hydras.
Yeah. It worked.
It worked really well.
Here's the thing. I think we actually would have won that game if I had just done that again.
Yeah.
Right,
Although they
because
started
all it
making
was-
lurkers at some point, and
Yeah. But they were like, if you look at that last push that they do down towards like our gold, it's mostly a Hydra army, right? So
Yes.
it's just like, oh, another 50 Banelings would have like crushed that.
Yeah.
We would have maybe not won, but at least survived.
yeah, hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious, though. That was a
Yeah.
super, super fun game. I'm pretty sure I gave it an epic tag.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the first game?
The first game. Poor Zergs. Your early Ling attack just completely screwed them over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because in the second game, they weren't bothered early, and then they were powerhouses. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So typical Zerg, basically. You bother them and screw up their build orders and their stuff early, and then that's impossible for them to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't expect the second game to go like it did. I figured you guys would win again, maybe fairly easily. I don't know. But then it turned into an crazy, crazy back and forth. It was great. Poor Fatty. I don't think he ever maxed out once the whole game.
I think you got it pretty close. Some of those times
Couple
he
times.
made carriers.
He did make carriers, and there were corruptors, and
I mean,
so many hydralisks.
like I said, I hate like I don't like carriers. And to be fair, carriers can sometimes be good. But in that game, do you think the carriers were ever worth their weight?
In that game, no.
No.
But
never.
part of it is
Not
he
once.
didn't get 15 of them. He'd only have like 2.
5.
Yeah. That's the trick. Like, no, 1 carrier, bad. 2 carriers, not much better. 15 carriers, holy crap. Suddenly
but
real
do you-
scary.
Do you remember that 4v4 we played with Florencio and we went up against 3 enemy Protoss that all made carriers and my 1 corruptible, and your roaches took them out?
Yes, I remember that. If you have enough corruptors, yes, the carriers are garbage.
Yeah, but it was like two and a half teams worth of carriers versus like 1 team's worth of corruptors. It was,
Yeah. Corruptors are
Like-
great against carriers, for sure.
carriers are just bad.
Everything's bad. If your definition of bad is there's a counter to it.
Well, no, it's not that there is a counter. It's that they outnumbered me 3-1, right? Like it was 3 players worth of carriers versus 1 player's worth of corruptors.
And 1 player's worth of Marines will massacre 2 players' worth of Mutalisks. Are Mutas terrible? No. They just have their counters.
I don't like. Again, we're gonna just get into game of numbers, but how many mutas is 2 players worth?
It doesn't matter. If you have a Marine ball big enough that it's basically an entire army player supply, they will massacre an infinite number of Mutalisks. Not infinite. Not true. They're not technically doing
Yeah, no.
splash damage. But it sure
Right,
feels
right.
like they are sometimes.
Could you imagine giving Marine splash damage?
Oh my, don't even say that out loud. Should put that evil
it's
on
not-
us.
It's not even every shot. It's like instead of like every 5th round is a tracer, every 5th round is like a fragmentation bullet, and so every 5 seconds they'll do a tiny amount of splash damage. Come on, that'd be fun.
Like they need to be more further overpowered. Jeez.
Ugh.
Ugh, gross. Just thinking about that makes me want to die.
What do you care? You're Protoss now. You
It's
just
true.
storm them.
That's true. What am I worried about? Marines, honestly.
Marines, the tier 1 counter to tier 3 carriers.
They are, though. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Fly a group of interceptors over Marines. They melt. They're gone. Boop.
Yeah.
And then the carrier bodies themselves did too much better, but honestly, yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
Did I tell you
So-
somebody asked why we're not on Spotify again?
Here's the thing. I don't know why we're not on Spotify anymore.
I know, right?
Because I saw Zombie Grub made a podcast, and she was like, "Yep, it's on Spotify." And I was like, When I tried to get on Spotify, it was only a curated list, and I couldn't do it. So
Maybe it's because Zombie Grub is awesome and we're not awesome.
yeah, well, ignoring that tiny detail.
I mean, I feel like if you're professionally commentating an esport, they're like, fine, here you go.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's my fault. It's my fault for not commentating on WCS events or ESL events.
It's either that or now that they're just an open platform now.
Oh, right. I could have changed it.
Yeah,
They were like,
looking it up.
curating is overrated.
Yeah, well, I think they wanted a curated one, so that way they could say, "Oh, look, we've got all these exclusively cool podcasts. None of that, every man for himself stuff like iTunes. Come listen." And it turns out Spotify has 1 billion listeners. So
True. You have a lot of customers.
yes, I just don't remember my password to Spotify right now.
That's a problem. Hold on. I'm actually in Spotify.
Oh, nope, I've got it.
Oh,
I remembered it.
you're in.
I'm in like the Flynn. Legal name or LLC? I don't know what an LLC is.
I don't actually either. It's a business kind.
What is my RSS? What is the back of Alvin Allen's RSS feed? do. It appears I just need whatever that is, and then we'll be good. It'll be on there.
Nice. We're going to be on Spotify, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, they were like, you're not on Spotify. And I responded and was like, look, we're on every podcast app known to man. You have a podcast app on your phone. Just search. And they're like, I found this one called the Falcon Paladin Hour. Is that you? And I'm like, yes, that's what I said. I said Falcon Paladin Hour in the cast. Yes, that's it. So they made it. It was great. It was a positive interaction for everyone involved.
Yes, it is. Sorry, I'm now just like, I'm in work mode. I'm trying to get the, I can't talk and think at the same time.
No, obviously.
Oh, okay. So, fun fact, if you want to make an RSS feed from any URL, just format equals RSS, right? And then that's it. That's you've just made an RSS feed for that web page.
Dang, that's easy.
Yeah, you just tack that to the end of the URL, and that's it.
That's crazy. I assume it used to be a lot harder to do. Yeah?
I assume so, but that RSS stands for really simple syndication, and that was the point. So
I just remember reading blog posts from people like 10 years ago being like, yeah, I'm working on getting the RSS feed working. And like, if it was just as simple as being like, here, put this into your RSS reader, I feel like that would be a conversation. I don't know.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think it is significantally simpler now than it has ever been.
All right, good. So I didn't know
where
that.
is your-
So if no, I guess I did know that. Because at this point, I use Feedly for my feeds.
Okay.
And all I have to do is be like, hey, here's this website. And they're like, here it is. Here's the feed. So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
super easy. I don't think the website developers have to do anything anymore. I think it's all done on the people that collect it, all on their side basically, automatically somehow.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
I have to tell them who's hosting our podcast. Like, where is it hosted? And I'm like, Squarespace. Squarespace is not listed, but the other is also I don't know. So that's great.
It's either Squarespace or Space or I don't know.
No, other or I don't know. Right. So because Squarespace isn't a listed option compared to all the other ones. I have to put down I don't know,
Gotcha. Okay.
which is not true. I do know. And we're a news and politics podcast, right?
Absolutely. We talk about politics all the time.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to put us under games. 'Cause there is no two dudes talking podcast category.
There really should be. A lot of podcasts are two dudes talking.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is, like, if that was available, that is 100% whatever it is.
It would be used all
Alright.
the time.
Podcast is now available on Spotify.
Holy smokes. I'm going to try to find it.
It said it'll be available in a couple hours. It's still processing.
Aw, you said now.
I meant that. I meant that for the listeners.
Tricked again. Oh, you were
Oh,
talking
I'm
to the listeners. Oh, okay. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Give it like an hour.
All right, fine. I will. Check it in an hour. If it's not there, it's your head.
All right.
Deal.
Fine. I don't know. Okay.
The reason I'm on Spotify today is because the Homestar Runner guys, which we talked about Homestar Runner. I feel like we've had a conversation once upon a time, but it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah, a web cartoon from like 2000 and 2002. Like it's super old. But
It's the sounds reasonable thing, right?
yeah, that's where Sans Reasonable comes from. Totally.
Yeah.
So the dudes who ran it posted all of the songs and like little ditties and anything music from anywhere in any of these web cartoons out on Spotify.
Oh yeah.
So it's like 180 songs, but some of them
Okay.
are like 11 seconds long. So it's not that crazy.
Right.
But if anybody's interested, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
We will. I guarantee there's one person who was like, "Ooh, that sounds great." So now
yeah,
it's there. Yep.
Yep. Cool. Click it. Show notes below.
Yeah. What's kind of incredible is that like some of the stuff I haven't heard since 2004, but I have the whole thing memorized. It's nuts how certain things just kind of burr their way into your brain,
Impressive.
especially if it's funny.
Yeah.
This is funny. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Although I imagine if maybe you didn't listen to it back in 2002, it might not have any attraction to you now.
Okay.
Is the
Tell you what,
problem?
I will open it up.
Oh.
Which one should I listen to?
Crap. There's so much. There's 180 here.
And you only have to pick one.
But okay. What's one that I really like? It's just so many of them are contextual is the problem.
That's the point. Which one?
Do
Come on.
do bread sing-alongs. I think it's like the 15th, 20th one down.
Yeah, yeah. I just controlled that for it.
It's a good time for everybody. I cut the crust off in the morning light. Don't ask me why. Pumpernickel and why.
What?
Contextual. It's all contextual.
It's something.
Somebody heard that and it made their day. That's all I'm going to tell you.
All right. I'm glad that person had their day made.
Yes. It's worth it. It's worth it if one person has their day improved.
Alrighty then.
All right. Well, on that note of a very confused Summicron
Yep. Which way's up?
and a happier Falcon Paladin,
Good.
anything else to cover this week?
Whew.
I guess big picture, it seems like this coronavirus is kind of, maybe we have reached the downhill slope on this. I don't know. It feels like it.
No comment. I don't think so.
Okay. Summicron disagrees. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, just in terms of numbers, right? Like, percentage of the population that has been infected or is still significantly lower than the percentage that could still be. And so to be like, on the downhill, we should start lifting restrictions. And it's like, no, that'll just speed it back up again.
That is a problem.
So at the moment, I think the appropriate outlook is to just maintain. It's not to go around for Easter egg hunts and stuff.
Gotcha. So yeah, falconpaladin.store. Check it out. Check out the Patreon page as well for the podcast. Link in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, as always, thanks for spending your time with us this week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and overall, you take care of yourself.